A local producer's program is next here on Oshkosh Community Access Television.
Hello, Packer fans. Welcome to Super Bowl week. Sorry about my voice. It's kind of hoarse. I did last year. And of course, bring back the title Green Bay Lambeau Field where it belongs. This show is proudly brought to you by Ratchendez Pizza, corner of Marin Bowen. They had a great time down there. They were hooping and hollering like everybody in Wisconsin. Coca-Cola bottling for sodas and for Audio Plus on Kohler Road for supplying the tape this week. And my special guest, Roger Wolf.
How sweet it is,
and
Adrian.
Yes, right, I think this right here, Roger, is self-explanatory.
Super Bowls 1, 2, and 31.
And I went down. It was a great time, but this show is not going to. We need more than half an hour for this show. So we got my hat I bought today. I bought a shirt. Here's a program. I had a super good time, like all the Packer fans in the world. And I don't know, where do you want to start, Roger? What do you want to talk about? Desmond Howard, Coach Mike, Fritz Shermer, offensive line, Reggie, sacks, everything.
First of all, start with the number one thing. The trophy has come back to Titletown.
Yes,
Green
sir.
Bay Packers are champions of the world for the first time in 29 years, Green. I was 19 years old the last time we had this euphoria in the state of Wisconsin.
A whole generation has missed this, Roger.
This is for all the people who were not born or, just listen to us telling them about the Packer title. Now they have one of their own.
This is like for the Brian Nobles and Steve Odoms.
Larry McCarron.
Larry McCarrons and the
Johnny
Randy Wrights
Grays.
and all these guys, Johnny
Lynn
Grays and
Dickies.
all these guys in the last 29 years. This is for everybody and our fans, and now it's back where it belongs, like you said, Roger.
The trophy is home.
And I don't know what to talk about first. There's so much to talk about.
Well, let's start right from the get-go and talk about the Packers' second play from scrimmage, the 54-yard touchdown bomb to Andre Rison. It got us going right away. That was a beautiful play all the way around.
Was he beautiful? Beautiful play. Was he happy or what?
Oh, was he wound up? And I don't blame him. I'd have probably done the same thing if I'd have been in that uniform at that time scoring that touchdown.
He got 54 yards and 3.5 points per play.
That's right. For that, at that point in the game, it was.
And I mean, I don't know what to talk about. There's so much beautiful stuff to talk about. I don't know where to talk. I love it.
After the Packers got that 7-0 lead, then they got the ball back on turnover, and they had to settle for a field goal, which kind of kept New England in the game. And by the way, right now, I'd like to say that it was a very enjoyable Super Bowl game. New England deserved to be there. They played a great football game, and I'll take my hat off to them.
And where's Parcells going?
Parcells, I think, is going to stay in New England. That's my prediction. Okay. He's going to stay in New England. We'll find out.
One quick coach, where's Sherman going? Or what do you think he's going to be doing? What's your opinion on him?
Well, I thought he might be headed for New Orleans, but now I understand that Mike Ditka's going back to coaching and going down to New Orleans. So that took care of maybe Sherm Lewis might stay in Green Bay.
Until next year when he depends on I don't know if he'd like it in Oakland or New York.
Well, I say he deserves a chance. I'd like to see him stay in Green Bay, though, too, on the same token,
yes.
And because he is an excellent offensive coordinator.
Oh, we got a great staff from top to bottom.
We do.
I mean, from Johnny Hollins to Tom Lovatz.
All the way, from Mike Holmgren to the equipment managers and whatever, you know, it's a top-notch organization from the word go, you know.
And the
Go
way-
for Packers.
Yeah, and the way we represented the team, I mean, when the championship game, we all stayed in the stands. We didn't go on the field. And
That's
There's
right.
all kinds of commotion on the field. And the parade down there, I think the Packer fans represented the Packers very well, with not doing anything crazy or stupid. So it is a top-notch class organization.
It
from
is,
the top
and
to the fans and everybody in between.
It was very nice because this team, the whole year, they never lost the focus of what they had as their goal at the start of the season. They started the season in training camp. The word was, the only way we can improve on last year is to win the Super Bowl. And they kept that one track and one train of thought, and Holmgren kept them focused on that the whole year. And the nice thing about the Green Bay team, too, besides that, is they appreciate the fans. You know, they said this one's for the fans because it's the fans that got us there. And it was the fans because we had the home field advantage throughout the playoffs. You know, that was key. I mean, if we'd had to go to Carolina for that game, it might have turned out different.
Maybe.
I had bad feelings that morning of that game. You know, I was a little nervous. But anyway, it turned out the way we wanted it. We are the champions, but they did. They stayed focused the whole year.
Yes, and they did not use the S word.
No. Holmgren said, you can talk about everything, but don't say those two words, I should say.
Yes.
So they didn't.
I mean, this game, I know games depend on turnovers. We had 0. They had 4. So that's we had few possession all day with the Desmond Howard punt returns and the kickoff returns and such. We took advantage of the turnovers. We got 4 interceptions. We took advantage. We stopped their drives. So I mean, we did everything right, Roger. From pretty much everything right. I don't think many things went wrong that day.
There were probably 2 phases of the game. After we got the 10-0 lead, we kind of lost a little momentum and we let New England come back. But then after they scored their 14 points to take the 14-10 lead, then Antonio Freeman took his time at center stage in the Super Bowl to set a record for the longest touchdown reception in Super Bowl history.
And that was the last time we seen him.
And it was, he didn't need to see him. You know, he had his moment. He said all week he was saying that this one's for the older guys, like the Reggie Whites, the Eugene Robinsons, the Sean Jones of the Packers
and the
team.
Bruce Wilkinsons, the Mike Pryors.
And too bad Kenny Rutgers couldn't have been there for this one. After, you know, playing 12 years and getting so close, and then missing it by like 9 weeks or whatever. But anyway, after New England that is, took the 14-10 lead, then we came right back with the touchdown, kind of took the momentum back.
We kept it.
And kept it most of the whole game after that.
Well, when the scoring was stopped in the third quarter, and the fourth quarter was using the clock and field position. And
New England was trying to get back into the game, but we got a couple of interceptions and closed the door on them, basically, pretty much.
Reggie's sacks.
Reggie had 3 sacks all in the second half. At crucial times, the first 2 back-to-back at, you know, really a crucial time in the ball game when New England was still right there. But then actually, the turning point and the actual play that closed the door was after New England scored to make it 27-21.
Yep.
They kicked off, and Desmond MVP Howard took care of business from there. Green, what more can you say about that? You know, it's been on TV about 84 times at least since then.
Yeah.
And it's just, you know.
It's a beautiful thing to watch, wasn't it? A beautiful thing
I just sat
the way that wedge formed and opened up the holes, and somebody tried to cut his legs down, and after that he shut him off, and then he's gone.
Last week I was telling all the people at work up in Neenah, I said Desmond Howard is going to run one back. I didn't realize at that time it was going to be a kickoff. I thought it'd be a punt, but we'll take it. You know, a touchdown is a touchdown. The momentum, the game breaker was that.
Speaking of punts, they tried to keep him in the corner, didn't they?
They kind of were trying to kick. They were kicking the ball to him, but yet it was in the corner
Trying to box him in.
where they were trying to keep him contained. And I know there were a few punt returns too. He had like one of 40 yards or so, and one of maybe.
Yeah, I think he had the third and fourth longest punt returns
Was that what it was?
in Super Bowl history. Yeah, and then, of course the 99-yard beauty.
That was the game, and that was it. You know, as you said before, New England had, 256 yards in total offense, and Desmond Howard had 244 return yards all by himself, you know. He definitely deserved the MVP of that game.
And only first special teams player to win the MVP.
Right, first time ever.
He deserved it, hands
He did.
down.
There was no contest. You know, Brett Favre had an excellent game. Reggie had an excellent game. Antonio Freeman had an excellent game. Andre Rison had an excellent game. But Desmond Howard definitely deserved the MVP in that game.
Okay, just excited. I'm just fun being a Packer fan. We're champions now, and we're going to stay. We got to stay, like we talked about, we got to keep these free agents. We're going to get a list of free agencies and unrestricted free agencies that me and Roger think that we have to keep. There's more major ones and not so many, you know, the lesser ones that we have to keep. But we got to keep it like the Desmond Howards and the Gravedigger. And some of these guys are very important to this Nucleus team.
Oh,
if they're going to be going down to San Diego and further Super Bowls, and we have to stay focused, keep these guys and stay healthy, and we're going to run the table for a while, Roger.
You know, and it was ironic, too. The last scoring play after Desmond's run back was Mark Chmura's first 2 points of the whole season.
First 2 points,
You know,
he didn't score a touchdown all year.
Another thing that's ironic, too, about that is Chewy doing that at that particular time. He was born and raised just outside of Boston, so he was a New England Patriot fan all his life, and he kind of put the final, so to speak, spike in the New England coffin, you know.
Yeah.
And that 2-point conversion, that 8-point touchdown, they won that quarter 8-7, and they just kind of, you know, that was the ball game.
Yeah, we started off 10-0, and I thought maybe this could. I think if we would have scored a touchdown instead of 3 points by Chris, I think the game would have kept on going and going and going. It maybe been a bigger spread than it was.
It may have caused
but
that.
that was important for New England to shut us down and get them just to get 3 points instead of nothing. And they got a couple touchdowns in the end of the first quarter, the second quarter, and then Desmond's great run. And then after we took off 17-14, we're done. That was the last time we've seen him.
I'd like to say one other thing, too. At the beginning of the season, and on the show I was on earlier this year, I said that Curly over there, my little stress doll, I said it was my stress doll. My girlfriend actually bought it, so it's our stress doll. And it actually wasn't a stress doll at all. It turned out to be a good luck charm. Yeah, I bought it in February of this past year. And the year we have it, we win the Super Bowl, so it's a good luck charm.
But that the last couple, the championship game, the NFC championship game in Carolina, and this game this past Sunday, super. I mean,
so was the San Francisco game, for that matter, you know.
And I mean, we're 16-3, 19 games we played plus preseason, but like you said before, Roger, so focused.
They were
when they
all year.
When they went on the field, Roger, all year, their eyes were between the uprights.
They had one goal in mind. They had to do it on the field, and that's where they did it. You know, the talking and everything is good, but you still got to do it on the field.
They didn't do much trash talking. Coach Holmgren and Coach Mike would not let them do
the Packers are
any
not that kind of a
trash
team.
Talking, no.
You know, some of the other teams, we won't mention who, but the people out there that are watching this program know what teams they are. And the Packers aren't that kind of a team. You know, they're a hometown-oriented team. You know, they're for the fans. So fans can celebrate too, because like I said before earlier in the show, the fans are the important backbone of this team. You know, they've been supporting the Green Bay Packers when they were 4-10, when they were 1-10-1, or when they were Super Bowl champions 29 and 30 years ago, and this year. You know, we supported them. We sold out every game, no matter what the record was.
Well, do they have a guesstimate on the percentage of fans down there?
I haven't heard
65%.
I haven't heard anything.
I think it probably was at least 65 to 75% Packer fans. I would think. It looked like an awful lot. To myself, they had one big section of Patriot fans, but basically 3/4 of the stadium was.
It seemed like it was
sparse. I mean, quite.
The green and gold colors were the dominant colors there.
Color,
yes, definitely they were.
And I think the hearts of America we're hoping for the Green Bay Packers to win this. In general population, I think the Packers were wanted to win.
They had the most support. Yeah, the Green Bay Packers were the team that, they are America's team, so to speak. Whether you
whether you want to think so or not, we are.
Right.
I'm going to get back to them touchdown passes.
Okay, let's go back and
that perfect. Which one was better? I think the one Antonio Freeman was better. When he threw down that sideline, that ball was just like perfect. In stride,
both of them were perfect.
Man.
One was 27 yards longer. That's about, and Antonio Freeman's, he ran about like 50 to 55 yards after he caught the ball.
Just beautiful.
Andre Rison's was beautiful too. So was Brett Favre's dive for the touchdown.
Oh, what do you think? Well,
the ball got hit the pylon in the end zone, so that's a touchdown. His body never made it in, but the ball did go over and cross the goal line, and that's all it has to do,
Yeah.
So it was a touchdown.
And by the way, on my adventures this past weekend down in New Orleans, Mississippi area, I visited Kill, Mississippi, where the Farr family resides, so to speak, down in that area. I went to the Broke Spoke, and apparently the bartenders and the bar owners and the people that are in that town that served the beer and the booze and stuff, they were ready and they had an idea about the amount of beer that we drank. supposedly on an average, they're open 24 hours a day down there. Packer fans and Mississippi people down there drink 12,000 cans of beer a day.
Ooh, that's a lot of
Approximately.
beer. That's a lot of beer.
And it was a lot of beer.
Excuse me.
And there are Brett Favre fans, too numerous to count down there. They had a truckload of cheeseheads. They had a semi-load of cheeseheads selling it out of the thing there. They did make an attempt to try to cook brats the Wisconsin way, and it was okay and stuff. So, but overall, the whole weekend from Friday to Sunday night was a whopping good time.
I think this whole year has just been a whomping good time, as you say. I'll use that phrase right there.
It's just fun, Raj.
From the Tampa Bay game down in Florida on the 1st of September, right on through yesterday's return to Lambeau Titletown celebration.
Yeah, and we
what-
earned this. We earned Super Bowl 31. We are the best team in the NFL. No doubts, no questions about it. We deserved it. We earned it. We got it. And it's back to 1265 Lombardi Avenue. Vince, your trophy's back, and hopefully Mr. Lombardi will keep it for you for a while.
Yes, Mr. Lombardi was watching over the festivities the
I
whole
had
weekend.
I had tears in my eyes at the game a couple times Sunday night, and at the Carolina game. So this win is just super for me. I just enjoy it. I've been through this, like Roger. We've been through this a long time. This dry spell, and it's just I can't say enough about how happy I am about the fans and the team and the organization around everybody. Just I love it.
A low point, the lowest point I've ever had in my Packer history, and it's been a long one. I was a Packer fan before Vince Lombardi.
Before me, because you got 2 years on me.
Before Vince Lombardi became the coach. So I remember Ray Scooter McLean in 1958 when they won one game, tied one, and lost 10.
110-1.
That was the low point in Packer history. I mean, there have been some 4-12s, stuff like that, but that was the lowest ebb you can get.
Yeah.
Then Vince came the next year, and they went to 8-4 and lost
I thought it was
7-5 the first year. You're right. 8-4 the second year. They lost to Philadelphia in the championship game at Philadelphia. Jim Taylor was running the ball with the last play of the game and was stopped 9 yards short.
They ran out of time. They didn't lose the game. They ran out of time.
They ran out of time.
We can say that they ran out of time. They didn't lose the
The
game.
next year we came back and we beat the Giants in the championship game,
37-0. Yep.
And it's just been, we've been. Since Lombardi left, it's kind of been a down,
Well, yeah, in '78 we had the 8-7-1 thing with the Minnesota taking it and winning because of the tiebreaker thing. In '82 with the strike thing, we had 5-3-1. Then we got beat in the playoff system there. And
the Super Bowl tournament,
yeah, Super Bowl tournament, and the Redskins won that thing. And in '89 with under Coach Lindy, we were 10-6, and the Vikings beat us out on that thing. The coach Mike came in '92, and he's had 5 great winning seasons. He got better and better and better. And now, after the 5th year of his head coaching job up there, they're champs.
Mike Holmgren set a Packer record that even Vince Lombardi never accomplished. That was to make the playoffs 4 years in a row. Vince made it 3 years in a row. But Mike Holmgren has the all-time Packer record. So now the Packers have 3 dynasties. They have the Lambeau dynasty, they have the Lombardi dynasty, and we now have the Mike Holmgren dynasty. And hopefully it will be a dynasty of a repeat or a three-peat.
Okay, speaking about having our dynasty continue in Lambeau, in order for that, a few things have to happen. We have to stay healthy, of course. We have to have the proper people, keep these free agents, keep the nucleus together, the coaching staff together pretty much. Roger's got a list of people that we think that might be more important than others. They're all important players. We love the Packers from top to bottom. But some maybe be more important than others. Roger, go ahead and see some of the people that we have to keep you.
First of all, for the unrestricted free agents, those are the ones who can sign with any team. The Packers receive absolutely no compensation. The people that are on that list are Don Beebe, Gilbert Brown, Jeff Dallenbach, Desmond Howard, Chris Jackie, Sean Jones, Doug Peterson, Mike Pryor, Wayne Simmons, and Frank Winters. The people we have to have back, of course, Gilbert is definitely. The Gravedigger, we definitely need him back in that defensive line. Also, we need Desmond Howard simply because of the fact that he can break a game at any time. The momentum can be going all against the Packers, and Desmond Howard touches the ball, and it just seems to turn the whole game right around. We definitely have to have him back. I would definitely like to have Chris Jackie back for the sole factor that he has a chance to set the all-time Packer scoring record. He's 3 points short of the all-time record at this point.
Do you think his value went down with that missed field goal?
It didn't help it, let's put it that way. He hurt his value that way. But, hopefully he'll be back nothing more than just to set that Packer record. Sean Jones, I would like to have him back to finish his career, maybe 1 or 2 more years, and maybe win another Super Bowl.
Maybe he'll
out of
take
it.
it. Maybe he'll. You know, some of these people maybe have to reconstruct their contract, restructure the contract, and maybe take on
Well,
take on less of a contract increase and stuff. To see, but go on.
Another person we need back is Mike Pryor. He is an excellent backup football player. You know, he can come in at any time when somebody like Greg Newsome went down in the third quarter. You know, we had Mike Pryor there. You don't lose anything with a Mike Pryor coming in. You actually gain because he's got more experience. He knows situations, how to react.
Speaking about Craig, one thing about Craig Newsome, why wasn't he not in the Pro Bowl? He had no pass interference calls.
He had that one in the Super Bowl, but that was the only one all year.
In the season, no pass interference call and no holding call and stuff.
No illegal contact.
No illegal contact. So why would he should have been in the Pro Bowl? We know that, and the NFL players know that, but he's not. But go on.
He knows that, and
coaching staff know, and the players know. But go
next
ahead.
year maybe he'll be there, but it's a popularity contest, and people do win.
Oh, there's a guy down in Texas that wears number 21. He's good.
I will not say a word about you know who.
Yes.
Anyway, getting back to that list, we need to keep Wayne Simmons. We also need to keep Frank Winters.
Frankie
Winters is the key.
Oh.
I mean, how many plays this year did you see the Packers, whether it was a run or a pass, you see Frank Winters 10, 15, 20 yards downfield throwing a block? I mean, that's total dedication to a team. You know, when a center is going to be 15 or 20 yards down the field still blocking.
And there was a comment about 4 weeks ago or so about Brett Favre. Frankie only wants his hands down there, and he wouldn't know what to do with anybody else's hands there down there funneling around. Or whatever. But he's very important to Brett Favre. And if he's important to Brett Favre, he's important to the Green Bay Packers. Keep that in mind, everybody.
The thing about, like you were saying about Favre and Winters, the key there is the timing factor. You know, Brett and Frank have worked together many, many years. You know,
got to stay together.
They know. You throw another center in. And the first couple of snaps can be really dangerous because the timing isn't quite ready.
Exactly.
And it can cause a bad snap or a fumble on any play, and that can turn a game around. You know, just one play like that can turn the game.
Exactly.
You know, so anyway, those are the list of, that's, like I said, free agents that we get no compensation for if we lose those players. Those are the keys there we got to have. The restricted free agents, those are the people who, if somebody else signs them, like the Bears or somebody, we get a draft choice. Plus, we have the right to retain them by matching the offer. The people on that list are Gary Brown, Lamont Hollenquest, Clarence Jones, Dorsey Levens, Terry Mickens, and Gabe Wilkins. The 3 people that we definitely need to keep for sure on that list, in my opinion, are Lamont Hollenquest, who's going to be a good young linebacker. Of course, Dorsey. There's no doubt we need Dorsey for that running game. I mean, between Dorsey and Edgar Bennett, they form one of the best running games in football today.
Yes, I totally agree. They really have stepped up to the forefront the last 5-6 games of the season.
They complement each other so well, you know.
And they're mutters. And they are mutters. And the Green Bay Packers play in mud weather, and you cannot be a running back at Lambeau Field in December, January with mud and sleet and all that kind of stuff, being able to prance and dance. You have to have people that are mutters and can catch the ball and Coach Mike's system, and exactly what them 2 guys are around here.
That's
exactly
right.
what they are.
Another person we need to keep is a valuable backup on the defensive line, and that's Gabe Wilkins.
Batted the ball down yesterday. Batted the ball down.
He came in one play. Reggie went out, and he did, like you said, he batted the ball down and stopped any momentum they might have had at that time. As far as the wide receivers, there's 2 names on this list. One is Don Beebe. I don't know about Don Beebe. He may retire.
He got the ring now, maybe retire.
He's been in the Super Bowl 5 times. He's finally got a winner, so he may retire. And we are so deep at wide receiver, too, because we got Robert Brooks coming back next year, plus Andre Rison, Antonio Freeman,
the guy from Notre Dame, the rookie.
Derek Mays, plus our Mickens, too. Our tight ends, too, are so valuable, you know.
Yeah, Thomason, and even Jeff Thomason.
They're all valuable because they do perform a certain, Thomason for special teams, if nothing else. I mean, like Desmond Howard said on special teams, he had so much confidence in that return team that they were going to block so well that any time he touched the ball, he felt he could go the distance. And the funny thing about that, too, is he was so close at the beginning of the season to not making the Packer team. If it would have been strictly as a wide receiver, he wouldn't have been around. When he ran the punt back in the Pittsburgh exhibition game, that solidified Desmond Howard's spot on this team.
Yes,
the return specialist, the threat to break it at any time. Man, am I glad they kept him. We all know what he did.
The show's going too fast. We only have a few more minutes. Unfortunately, Okay, let's we can a summation of the season. What do you think? Well, we went over a lot of stuff. What do you think was the main thing why the Packers did finish up with the Super Bowl championship?
For one
A few
thing,
things anyway.
their ability to overcome adversity. When their wide receivers started getting banged up, a different guy was able to come to the forefront and step it up every week, so we never actually lost anything. Brooks missed like 9 games. Freeman missed 3 or 4. Chimura missed 3 or 4, but Don Beebe stepped it up one time. Terry Mickens stepped it up another time. You know, we didn't miss anything. We kept on going. Sure, Brett struggled a couple of 3 games. That was because of the timing factor there. But that was the key, I think, to the season, to be able to overcome adversity.
I want to say another key that I think steps to the forefront is the healthiness of our defensive unit.
Yes.
I don't think we had any. Sean Jones went out for what?
Other than George Kuntz.
George
then-
Kuntz. Yeah.
George Kuntz went down in the San Francisco
Right.
game. But Ron Cox is so much of a valuable backup that we never, unfortunate
beat.
for George Kuntz, we never missed him really, you know, because Ron Cox just stepped in, and it was just like George Kuntz wearing a different number, playing in that position.
Very healthy team all year defensively.
And Ron Cox really had a tough job because Kuntz was the signal caller and called all the defenses, and Cox even never missed a beat there at all.
And one thing about that team, leadership comes to the forefront too, Roger.
The veteran leadership.
So, I mean, even though George was gone and Ron had to come in and step up and do the signal calling, you didn't have to be a scientist. I mean, you don't have to have he didn't have to have an IQ of 300 to figure out that with the leadership of Reggie White and Sean Jones and Leroy Butler and these guys that they can patchwork that thing up and they won't miss a beat, and they went on clicking, they didn't miss nothing, they went on the Super Bowl and won it.
And you know what? Another excellent move that the Packers made this year was bringing Eugene Robinson in from Seattle. It cost us Matt LaBounty. Sure, everybody around here liked Matt LaBounty, but look what Eugene Robinson did. He solidified the defensive backfield. That's your result
right there.
of bringing Eugene Robinson
And Santana Dotson.
and Santana Dotson.
So
Definitely do not
That's
forget.
why we might lose some of these guys. Some of these guys are going to go. Unfortunately, I wish them well when they play anybody else but us. But Ron Wolf and Coach Mike Roger are going to bring the people in to solidify this as it goes along. This dynasty, as we call it, the third dynasty, the Green Bay Packers are going to stay on for a while. It's going to stay on track.
so.
We're going to keep on winning ball games.
You got to keep your nucleus, and when you lose a player, you got to fill that void with a player of that level or better. So you keep right on going and don't lose a beat. But in this day of free agency, I mean, every team loses players. You know, you never keep the same players 2 or 3 years in a row.
And Reggie's got his ring.
Finally, Reggie got it after 14 years.
And,
that's his first championship ever
at
in any
Tennessee
level.
or anything.
Any level.
Yeah, and
Pee-wee ball or whatever, you know.
It's just fun, and this is my last show of the season. We'll be back next year for, well, repeat will probably be used a lot, but stay focused is more important, and stay healthy, and stay a nucleus of this team stay together. We could go out to San Diego and repeat the Super Bowl champions in 1998. And we're gonna do that. So Roger, thank you for being here.
Green, we've got to enjoy this Super
We are
Bowl
gonna enjoy it.
championship.
Yes, so we're gonna enjoy
We'll
this.
worry about next year.
Yes, we'll worry about when you get July and August when the camps come open. And
Right
everything
now,
else.
enjoy.
Best relishes, you Packer fans. Thank you for being Packer fans. Thanks for watching the show. Hope you enjoyed it. We had a very exciting 1996-97 season with the finish of the championship down in New Orleans this past week. So let's enjoy this. Worry about the draft choices and everything else later on, but go Pack, go, and thank you very much.
We are the champions.
We are the champions. Yes, Green Bay. Thank you very much. Private Bounce, we did it. Royal, we did it.
Yeah, we did. Green Bay Super Bowl champions.
Oh, this show went too fast.
We could have talked for 2 hours easily.
Easy.
I didn't even cover half of the stuff I
I
wanted
know.
to. You just don't have the time,
I
though.
have the time.
You get into it, and all
We didn't get a chance to talk about the coaching jobs of Nolan Cromwell. A couple years ago, he was picked on.
Yeah.
Of course, that was a lack of talent and stuff. And Schirmer, what a great job.
when you got talent, you know, it proved
do a lot of stuff.
what you can do, you know. And you got guys that throw a block and let
You got to talk some more?
keep
All
going.
right, we can talk a little bit more, I guess.
All right.
Can we talk? Are we on?
Keep
Oh,
talking,
okay.
she said. Let's go, Green.
But anyway, okay, go ahead, say something. What do you think?
I would just like to say this championship here was for all the young kids. Like, I have a few friends like Tommy Jr. and Chuck. They knew who I'm talking about. Those people had never had a chance to really witness a Packer championship other than what we told them about it. now they finally have a title of their own where they can enjoy and be part of.
My daughter and my son-in-law, now we're done. With my daughter and my son-in-law now, they got a championship underneath their belt. And all you Packer fans that, like Roger said, the last 29 years, we had a couple years, but we really didn't really get to the mountain. But now we got to the mountain, we won a championship.